Hi everybody, I'm Mark Elliott, and in these videos I only speak for myself. Today I wanted to talk to you all about addiction. Addiction is a long-standing interest of mine, and I thought I could bring some clarity to the topic in this video. So the way I break it down is with the two C's: control, or lack of control, inability to cut down when you try to, or stop when you want to, in conjunction with consequences, particularly negative consequences, more than positive consequences. It's important to remember that there are always both. And the reason that there's always both is because we as people, as animals, don't repetitively do things that don't serve us in some way. So even the most debilitating addictions have upsides. They're, fun and satisfying, and your methamphetamine habit will keep your house clean, and on and on. But even the most benign, quote-unquote, addictions have their own costs. Even with coffee, it's money and time and frequently going to the bathroom, amongst other things. You may be wondering what addictions actually are, and I think that the best way to describe them is as toxic habits. And that's to say habits which are repetitive behaviors that we do throughout life, and toxic meaning doing more harm than good. To me, that encompasses what addiction is more concisely than anything else I've ever heard. And what is a habit, after all? It turns out habits are relatively simple creatures. They start with a cue or a trigger, which can be almost anything. In the case of smoking a cigarette, it might be the smell of a cigarette, or just having finished a meal, or getting ready for bed, or just having had sex. The cues are limitless, almost. Uncountable, that's for sure. And the same is true of the next piece, which is a behavior or a routine. In the case of smoking a cigarette, it is smoking the cigarette. And this can also be almost anything, including thoughts and feelings and reflexive responses to things. Road rage is an interesting one, right? Yelling at people in the car and such. And all of these things then have to end with some kind of reward. And that reward can take many forms itself. It can just be the simple satisfaction of smoking a cigarette, or something more dramatic like an orgasm or a high from an opioid or something like that. Or just the simple righteous feeling that you get when you flip off somebody in the car. In one way or another, in order for something to become a habit, it must be rewarding. And these habits, it turns out, make up a huge fraction of who we are. What we do, what we consider a personality, is largely habits that have been built up this way throughout our lives, through conditioning, right? And sometimes these habits just spiral out of control. They, in some way, meet some need so strongly that it is very difficult for the brain to turn away from that behavior, regardless of negative consequences. Interestingly, brains are incredibly good at ignoring negative consequences of pleasurable, rewarding behavior in general. It is truly amazing when you see it in yourself or in others. Well, I think I'm going to leave that here. I think I've said enough for now, and I will say more later. Thank you for watching, and look forward to more videos. Thanks again.